What is going on, guys? It's your boy Jay Custer Gray here from Anime Escape with the season finale of the What If series until they make another one. So, this episode is What If the Watcher Broke His Oath. Wow, guys. Pretty damn fire. Pretty damn fire. So, episode starts off with Peggy Carter. Pretty much it starts from the beginning where everything started all the way up until now. So, starts off with Peggy Carter. Pretty much start of Captain America 2, where they're on a plane. They're going over a shield tanker that was hijacked by Backtrack the Leaper. And instead of everyone, it's Peggy Carter. She even has like her normal suit. Normally it's the Britain flag, but it's like all silvered out and everything. So it's basically that. So, you know, they go over everything. Natasha's there. She has her little banter, which is actually pretty dope. So like, what did she say? She was like, some dude in accounting is asking about Peggy. And Peggy was like, normally this guy's name in accounting is a red flag. Like, then Natasha was like, well, what about Steve? She was like, oh, I thought we were friends. And pretty much being jokeful and stuff like that. So, you know, and it's funny because like, there's this little quote that Peggy does, and it's actually pretty dope. I like it. She's like, I'm the sword, you're the shield. No, she's like, I'm the shield, you're the sword. So, you know, they have their little banter. She jumps out, lands in the water, jumps in the boat, start attacking people. So it's almost like play for play on it. So she gets a backdrop. Backdrop is like, you know, I thought you were more than a shield. So they start fighting, and next thing you know, Peggy's like, wait, what is that? And it's the Watcher. So like, the Watcher is like, Peggy Carter, such and such, woman lost in time, you've been recruited. It's like, what? Like, then if I remember correctly, it cuts to the Star-Lord, Black Panther Star-Lord, or T'Challa Star-Lord, and he's fighting Ego, who is actually currently absorbing the powers from Peter Quill, who's working at like some little, I can't remember the name of the restaurant, but he's like going in, stopping that. T'Challa swoops in, gets Peter, flies out, and he's like, you're safe here. And Peter was like, yeah, okay, cool, I'll just lay here with the giant baby manrobe thing floating in the sky. And it's like, what? He's like, T'Challa, leader of the Rangers, lost son of Wakanda, you have been chosen. Then it cuts to, the one that bothered me was, I think it cuts to Gamora next. Yeah, it cuts to Gamora, and Gamora is talking to the Forger of the Infinity Gauntlet, and they're letting the Gauntlet down. And it's gorgeous because like Iron Man's there, and Iron Man's armor is like it's gorgeous. It's not like the traditional yellow and red. It's like a orange and blue type thing with multiple colors. It looked like he was sent to was it Sakaar? I'm not sure. Where pretty much where Hulk was sent to, and he like built the armor out of that stuff because they got like the symbols and stuff. The armor's dope, but Gamora's there, and she's like got all armored out, and so that made me mad. I'm like, where did this backstory come from? I need this backstory. So they're like, okay, Gamora of such and such, you've been recruited. And Iron Man's like, yeah, no. He's like, not you, Stark. You. I was like, it's funny. Cuts to Killmonger, and like, Killmonger did what he said he came to do. He laid waste to Wakanda, and it is crazy. So like, they have Pepper Potts, Kid Shuri, and like the Dora Milaje running in the hall. They're talking about, so Killmonger cannot get away with this, and this. So Killmonger's in the throne room, walking up to the throne, and next thing you know, you see, was it Eric something? It starts with a W, and he turns around, and he was like, "You have been chosen." So after that, it cuts to Thor, which is like the funniest thing ever. And Thor's in Las Vegas fighting Ultron robots. And he is just complaining and fighting and complaining and fighting. And it's the funniest thing ever. He's like, it's supposed to be my perfect date. We're going to flowers, drinks. I was going to wash my hair. And he's, have that thee, and thee, and thee. And Watcher's like, Thor. And Thor's just like ignoring the hell out of him. He's like, Thor. He's like, become Thor. And he's like, fuck it. And he just like picks up Thor. He was like, Thor, you have been chosen. And then, if I remember correctly, it he takes them to like a bar, and like all of them are there. They're like, what the fuck is going on? So Doctor Strange finally shows up, and Peggy's like looking around. She's like, I recognize this bar. He was like, yeah, I read your memoirs and this and this. So yeah. I hope you didn't mind. And like the first thing he thought, he's like, hi, yes, how you doing? With an Ultron helmet, he's like, can I get a beer? And he's like, okay. And just hands him a beer. He's like, yes, beer! And he just chugs it. And then the Watcher appears and explains to them what they're gonna be doing. So pretty much he's explaining to them that the Ultron got Infinity Stones, taking over the world, going through the multiverse, trying to kill everything. Yada, 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 yada. So the Watcher actually dubs them the Guardians of the Multiverse, which is dope. So as they're explaining everything, it's funny because Thor is like a big ass college student. He's like, yeah, you know, this is nice and all, but is there like a multiverse delivery person who can deliver some Chinese food? Because I'm hungry. He's like, I have a rumbly in my tummy. And everyone's like, what? And then like it cuts the scene and everyone has Chinese food. I'm like, what the fuck? But they go over the plan and everything, and they're trying to figure out how to destroy or pretty much separate him from the stones. So T'Challa, Star-Lord, he was like, well, you know, first we have to find him. And Thor literally says that he was like, well, I do have this knack for bringing unwanted attention, as he like shoots off a beam of lightning. And they're like, well, that can come in handy. And then Gamora pipes up and says that she actually has a device, I think it was called the Infinity Destroyer or Infinity something, destroys the Infinity Stones. So they all came up with a plan. Then boom, it cuts to So I'm sorry, still getting notifications even doing videos. So it cuts to them on this barren planet, and everyone was like, "Why is this planet so alive?" He was like, "Ultron deemed this planet worthless because there's no life on it, or pretty much not high functioning life, just life. It's just like birds and stuff. Like there's no humans." So like, okay, cool. So then Doctor Strange casts a protective spell on everybody. And like everyone, like Peggy Carter's like, what the hell? Like he was like, this is amazing. Like Peggy Carter is like the mature kid, but like she's trying to be older than what she is, but she's still a kid. So like when she got the protection, she was like, this feels amazing. Like this is raw. So they Gamora is noticing that Killmonger is fiddling with the Ultron head. And Thor walks over to her. She's like, you trust him? Thor's like, him? I trust everybody. And he just walks off. So, they go about the issue and the plan and everything like that. So, they're pretty much saying they might die and everything like that. So, Doctor Strange magically pulls out drinks that everyone likes. Everyone drinks. And then he goes on this speech. And he's like, dying and death and wise men and this. And everyone's like, what the fuck? And like T'Challa comes in, he was like, that's enough, Doctor. And he's like, to the Guardians of the Multiverse. And then they drink, and then Thor, in his childish mind, is like, yeah, and like just summons, like shoots lightning off in the sky. And everyone's like, yeah, that is very impressive. And then, boom, Ultron was like, oh, so there is life here. And everyone was like, fuck. Like, so Everyone was like, damn. So, Gamora and Killmonger go into a portal, and then that leaves Star Lord, Captain Peggy, Thor, and Strange, and they're fighting Ultron. So it's funny because like Thor is too funny in these episodes. Thor's like, "Viva Las Vegas!" and like he shoots lightning, and like Ultron's like, he takes it and absorbs. He's like, "I've never heard that battle cry before," and it just goes, and it's like, Thor, what the fuck are you doing? But it works because then Thor throws his hammer, and Doctor Strange multiplies the hammers, so it's like a storm of Mjolnirs just flying and hitting Ultron. Peggy jumps on T'Challa's back, flies up in the air. I forgot what Peggy does. No, I think she like just hits him across the face with a shield. T'Challa jumps on his back, Ultron's back, and he just throws T'Challa off. And then like Peggy goes get T'Challa, and T'Challa, she's like, "Do you have it?" And he's like, "It's always." Yondu said, "It's always good to have sticky hands." So he has the Soul Stone. So they got the Soul Stone. They're running back to Steve. So Steven takes all the hammers and like brings it all together around Ultron. And Thor, which is smart, I'm not even gonna lie, it's just fucking smart, takes his lightning and then hits all the hammers to make a giant. So like they get that, and then while that's happening, they like jump into a portal and go. So they get there, and like, you know, they're talking and everything like that. So they jump into the portal, and then like they get out. It was like, "Oh, is everything set?" "Yeah, everything's set." And Peggy throws the Soul Stone over to Gamora, and next thing you know, boom, on a motorcycle, Black Widow comes, grabs it, and she's like, "I'm supposed to be the only one left on this earth. Who the hell is y'all?" She's got guns pointing and everything. Peggy had to talk her down and was like, "You're my friend. You know, Ultron is here. He's trying to destroy the world. He's trying to destroy the multiverse. We're here to stop him. This, and this, this, and this." She's like, "All right, cool." So this is where things get crazy. So before they left, I stay skipping this part, guys. I'm so sorry. I get excited. So before they left, Strange summoned the zombies from the zombie episode onto Ultron. And Ultron obliterates the zombies because he still has what, 4 Infinity Stones. So he obliterates the zombies, and then Thor was like, "Oh, zombies, cool." And he was like, "It's not the zombies, it's what's with the zombies that's gonna try to stop them." And they did. So Ultron blows away the zombies, and then it's the not Black Widow, it's the Scarlet Witch zombie. Which I'm like, ooh, this should be good. But it's not. It's like blinking, you miss it. And it pissed me off because I'm like, Scarlet Witch is a multiversal threat. She really is. I like, even like, she was like her own blockers to her power. So that's completely understandable. But in zombified form, there should be no blocks. She should have just been able to rip Ultron apart with her power. Like, literally, she should have. But not my story. So Ultron blows up the world with her on it, and then chases after them. Then now back to Black Widow has a stone. She has a stone, and then Ultron appears, and he's like, "You guys have my stones." So they're fighting, and they're literally jumping him, which is like the funniest thing ever. They were like legit like jumping him for a while. So like, you know, they're all trying to get the stones and everything like that, and it's just ridiculous. Like, they're like literally jumping this man, and the term jumping is supremely used lightly. They were whooping his ass for a minute. So, you know, that pretty much is like pretty much cats and dogs now. They're just chasing after each other, trying to get the stone from each other. So it gets to a point where what did they do? What did they do? Oh my gosh, this is gonna bother me. But I think he said something like, it's like of all the people in the Zord, why won't you die? He does an explosion, and it was like it stops and it comes back in, and all you see is strangers like. I'm like, oh shit! That nigga ate this explosion. Like, so they're still battling and everything like that. So Ultron does another explosion, but he does a time explosion and freezes everyone and grabs the stone, like the Soul Stone. But Doctor Strange does have his own time stone with him, so he does that, reaches out, grabs Ultron and everything like that. And then this is where like the real ass was really good. So like Peggy and Black Widow both have shields, and they proceed to put the biggest amount of hands on this dude I've ever seen in my life. Like, when I mean shields, tink, 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 tink. And then they do like the old football move that's illegal now, where like one tackles the top one way, the other tackles the bottom, and they just wow, they hit him. And then next thing you know, you're like seeing like tag team efforts all the way around. So it's boom, boom, hit him here, hit him here, hit him here, hit him here. And it was like just bouncing them back and forth. And like they finally like, they finally knock him down. So they knock him down. Doctor Strange uses a spell to hold him in place. And Gamora activates the device. She takes the Soul Stone, put it in it. The device crawls, pretty much destroys the stones, and then there's a big explosion. And then Thor, in his asinine way, he's like, "That's it? That's it? We won? Oh, that wasn't so bad." And T'Challa was like, "Normally that's not that easy. Then there's always something." So next, you see Ultron, like, pretty much back in the sky. He was like, you thought this would kill me, this, and this, and this. And Gamora realizes, she's like, oh no, that's right. You know, this device was meant to destroy the stones in my universe, not his universe. So that plan was null and void. So, Ultron now is like doing this consistent blast. But like he realizes Doctor Strange is really the reason that they're still alive, because he was constantly putting up protection spells for them as the protection spell would fade out. So he was like, oh, word. He was like, you're the one I have to kill to make sure everyone dies. So he's like doing a consistent blast for Doctor Strange, pushing everyone back. That way, you know, they won't have to, like, they won't interrupt his concentration and everything like that. Black Widow's shield is actually dropping. So Peggy jumps in front and takes it, and then like they get knocked back off into the distance, out of Ultron's sight. So as Widow is getting up, she looks at the bike and she sees the Armanzola arrow. So she jumps up, goes to the bike. Peggy finally like finishes landing and everything, and like Widow pulls up on her on the bike. Was like, hey, I got a plan. I forgot exactly what she said about the plan. She was like, I need some time and some distance or something like that. And she's like, can you do that for me? And Peggy's like, I'm the shield, you're the sword. And Widow's like, that's cute. That's cute. And just like rides off. So now the whole time they're struggling with the beam, pretty much a beam struggle. So Widow and Peggy are doing their thing. Widow's going up like through the broken buildings on a motorcycle. And she has Hawkeye's bow. You already know what's gonna happen pretty much. So Peggy's going through the building. She's just jetting up a building, and they get to the point where everything is lined up. Widow jumps out of the building on a bike, shoots an arrow, says this is for Clint. Arrow's going straight. Peggy jumps on the back of Ultron, pretty much lifts the mask, and the arrow hits him dead in the eye. So now Ultron meets Armanzola, and this was dope. Like, I loved it. So it was like Ultron's like, oh, okay, what the hell? And all you hear, I'm like, this is a better body than a human body. And Ultron's like, what the fuck? And she's like, who is this? And he's like, my name is Armanzola. I used to be an advisor, or he said, I forgot what he said. He used to be a scientist for Hydra. But he was like, because of you, we no longer exist. And Ultron was like, what's your purpose? Well, My purpose is to destroy you. And then like he destroys, pretty much he destroys, or they're battling inside the Ultron Vision body. As they like everyone's regathering themselves and everything like that, Eric Killmonger he has the Ultron head still. So he starts pulling the armor and the Infinity Stones onto him. So we're like, this guy here can't win. So they're like, need to release the stones. And Eric's like, nah, I can't do that. And T'Challa's like, cousin, we need you to let go of those stones. And he was like, you're not my cousin. He was like, this is our one chance to save our universes. He was like, Peggy. Like, he goes down the list, he was like, Peggy, like, this is the one time you can, be with the dude you want to be. Strange, this is the one time you can save your universe. And he just goes down the list, and then Armazola pops up. And he was like, no. I believe that's belongs to me. So they start doing tug of war, like snatching the stones back and forth in the armor. And Strange realizes this was the whole point. They were never supposed to take the stones away from them. They were supposed to take the stone, like they were supposed to let them battle over the stones, didn't stop them, like take the stones or imprison them in some way, shape, or form. So, Strange I don't know, is it really the mirror dimension that he puts him in or whatnot? But he puts them in that glass mirror dome type thing where they're trapped in there. Eric and Armanzola trapped, struggling to gain control of the stones constantly. So they're stuck in a pinpoint. There's nothing else around. So it cuts to Strange holding the orb in his own dimension that he's entrapped himself in. So he's talking to the Watcher, and he was like, thank you. And he was like, yeah, I have nothing but time, so might as well watch them and let you know if anything happens, my friend. And pretty much that's the last of your Stephen Strange. Then it cuts to the bar where they're sending everyone back. And you get a glimpse of everything. They send everyone back. T'Challa, Gamora, Peggy, Thor, everything like that. So it gets to Black Widow, and he's like, well, then there was one. And she's like, I'm not going back there. She said straightforward, I'm not going back there. There's nothing back there. And she was like, well, what have you done? You just sat there eating popcorn or something, watching my world die? Can you reconstruct my world? He's like, I can't do that. And she was like, well, I'm not going through that door. And he was like, well, the door is a metaphor. And then next thing you know, she's on a helicarrier with the Avengers and Nick Fury fighting as Guardians. And they're like, what is good? Like, she's like, what is this? She was like, this is a world that lost their widow. And next thing you know, you see Nick Fury get thrown down, Loki with the staff over him, and next thing you know, Black Widow comes in, kicks him in the face. And Loki is like, I thought you were dead. It's like, I heard you were dead. He was like, yeah, me too. And she brain control. And then Fury pops up. He was like, you're not my widow, but I believe you have the same heart as she does. That resolves that. So then it cuts to like each one showing like the outcome of each world. Like, I don't even know what's happened with the Gamora and Tony Stark one, but that still looked gorgeous. She met back up with Tony Stark. Thor and Jane had their date night. T'Challa and Peter actually defeated Ego. Who else was there? Because Killmonger is trapped, so he's no longer there. So there's Thor, Black Widow, Peggy. Yes, thank you. Peggy. So Peggy comes back, and she comes back in the same spot. So like she's looking up, she's like, huh? And wow, and the backdrop just knocks her out. He was like, oh, I'm sorry, was that too hard? And Black Widow tases it. And they said something slick, and I forgot what she said. She was like, are you okay? Did you hit your head? She was like, yeah, once or twice. And she's like, I need to stop. I need to show you this. So she was like, I need to show you what they were after in the bunker. And like, I hope it's not too crazy. And Peggy's like, I've seen a lot of crazy today. So she peeps in, and this was like the best ending for me anyway. So she peeps in, and she sees the Hydra Stomper. And she was like, this is what they were after? And she smiles, and she was like, yeah. And then Natasha was like, there's also someone inside. So Steve's still alive. So technically, when Peggy disappeared, he took on a role. And that time when they were sending planes and stuff about to drop bombs in New York, he took the planes down, still fell into the ocean, and froze. So he's still alive, which is dope, actually. Then, she's smiling, cuts to the Watcher. Watcher's like, all these universes, all these stories are, wonderful and dear to me and everything, and I will do anything to protect them. I was like, oh, okay, cool, Watcher, you got it. So that's how the season finale ended, guys. I know I'm like missing some details in it, but it was interesting. Like, I can't wait for season 2, because I feel like once Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness comes out, that's when they're going to release season 2, because they're going to have more characters and stuff to deal with and everything like that. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for staying tuned. I think that's it for me for a while, guys. I think my hero is done, and now that this is done for a little while. But, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for staying tuned. Stay true, stay savage, people. I'm out. Bye.